Yo, what's up? We're back at the Royal Arena TV. It's Geos, and I'm right now with Skyzoo and Apollo Brown.
Yeah,
How are
yeah.
you guys?
What's
Got
up,
it.
man?
You got it. We're here.
Everything's good?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
I see you have you put the official clothes
Yeah,
of
man.
the
They gave
festival.
us some gear, man. A couple pieces to rock. It's kind of cold.
It got cold last
Yeah,
minute.
yeah,
you
true.
know what I mean? So shout to the Royal Arena homies holding it down. The hoodie is great. The design is crazy. The back, I was like, yeah, I rock that right now. You know what I mean?
And talking about fashion, I just just before beginning this interview, you just asked to the camera guy to come because you wanted to check his sneakers.
Yeah.
Are you a
I'm
sneaker
not
fan?
I'm not a real fashionable guy, man. I've never been, but I've always been into shoes, man.
Okay.
I've always been a sneaker guy, so I could wear the worst sweatsuit ever, man, and have some dope shoes on. You know, that's kind of my whole thing. Like I've never been real fashionable. You know, this guy's the fashionable one.
Oh, man.
I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But I always have some a decent pair.
Yeah,
of,
he do good with
kicks,
the
so.
sneakers. We be on the road. We always sneaker shop. It's one of the things when you on tour, you always, as soon as you get to a different city or different country, yo, where the sneaker stores? Sneaker stores and record stores, you know what I mean, right away. So he does good with the sneakers, you know, we go pick up some different things, different flavors and bug out and all that.
Did you have time to check some sneaker stores out
Not
here?
Not yet, but tomorrow we going to Snipes.
Yeah.
Ah,
So we got a
okay.
day off
You know?
tomorrow, man. So we gonna
Definitely go
check
to
out
Snipes.
Snipes, man,
Okay,
and
cool.
go see what we can find.
Cool. I know that it's not your first time in Switzerland, at
No,
least for you.
Not at
For
all.
you as well, right?
No, I've been to
No,
Switzerland
we
before.
both
Yeah.
we both
Yeah.
been to Switzerland. This is
Yeah.
my second time here
At the Royal.
at Royal Arena, man.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Swiss public? Can you say it's like a real hip hop public?
When you say public, do you mean the people
The audience,
that are
the people that
people
come
who
at
are
your
here for
shows
the
and all
music?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
represent-
agree.
they
Yeah, it
represent
was
everything.
live, man. It was even with today, you know, with the rain, you know, the weather didn't really cooperate and it didn't matter. You know, they was out there strong,
Yo,
5,000,
it's pouring
6,000.
outside.
Yeah.
They out there with their hands up, man.
Yeah,
and
5,000,
doing their thing.
6,000
Like,
strong, going hard,
it's great.
taking their shirt off so they could get more in the zone with the water drenching down.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. It was all about the hip hop. It was all about what we was doing. So when that happens, you got to reciprocate and throw it back the same way. So I love it.
Cool. And more generally, if you compare the American audience at your shows and the European audiences, are there any differences, like
This one-
major differences?
I mean, you know, this question, we get this question a lot, you know, and you know, I never like to shit on my home country, you know, and the people there. You know, I'm not, you know, we definitely get support in the US. It's a different type of support though. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it's better or worse. It's a different type of support. But we get a lot of heads out here in Europe, man, who come out just for the music, and it's a different type of support, man. I can't really explain it because it happens, man. But sometimes you might get a show that's light, you might get a show that's 10,000 people. You know, it just depends on the time of year, depends on the time, the music, the, you know, whatever, the artist. I can't really speak too much on that, man. It's I don't want to, you know, it's just a different type of support.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a
I get
different
it.
level of ways to appreciate the music. You know, in the States, you know, it's driving around in a car or riding around on a train or whatever, supporting the music. I feel like out here, it's really about the show, really coming to the show, interacting one-on-one. It's just different ways of supporting, you know. The shows out here are always insane, though. It's always insane.
Absolutely.
And if we talk about your music, you two guys have dropped an album together, which is called Easy Truth.
The easy truth, yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Can you describe us how, like the creation process? Like
Yeah.
you're doing the beats and
Right.
are you together into the studio? Or
I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, we made this album in 6 days, so
Literally.
it's one of those
6
things
days.
where
There
top
is
to
like-
bottom.
we
there are
made
like
a
15
classic in
tracks,
6
right?
days when
Yeah.
a lot of people make a regular album in 2 years. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's just, you know, I think I could say that. I could state
Absolutely.
that. man.
Absolutely.
I feel good about it.
Absolutely.
So 6 days and like the creation process, you want to dig
Well,
into some crates
I'll-
to check some samples and
I'll
then
make the beats, you know, and kind of get a kind of a frame of mind going of where I want to go with the sound, and then I'll pass them over, and then we'll just kind of collaborate on that, you know, on the sound concept, and where it's gonna go. And then, you know, he comes out, we record.
Yeah.
I might make some stuff on the spot. He writes everything on the spot.
Write everything on the spot in the studio. I don't write ahead of time like at home.
You write on paper or into your
in the
smartphone?
phone. In the phone. Yeah. I grew up writing on paper, of course, but just the convenience of being able to whip the phone out, not have to bring a bunch of books or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, man. It was cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Easy
it was
breezy.
simple, man. It was a perfect marriage. 'Cause it
Easy
was like
breezy.
We had the same common goal, and that was to make good music. And you know, I mean, it was just it was a vibe. I like to vibe in person. You know, I'm not really with email albums.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I'm all about getting in the studio, kind of feeling the vibe with each other, man, and just kind of bouncing ideas off each other and just making it real organic. You know, so and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Paula Brown, I read on your biography. I don't know if it's true, but like in the mid 2000s, you wanted to stop your career. Is it true?
Absolutely.
And it's said because you didn't like the way the music used to sound.
I just kind of got wrapped up in the whole TV, radio type of thing. This was 2005, 2006. I quit. I was done.
So who
I
were
didn't touch a beat. You know, I didn't come back and start making beats until 2007.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just like, you know, riding around, listening to the radio or seeing what was on TV. It was kind of a big change and a big shift of the way the music sounded. And it wasn't the type of music I made, you know. So I was like, there's not a fan base for what I'm making. It's done. You know what I'm saying? This is over. So my cousin pointed it out for me and was like, yo, there's a huge fan base still for what you make. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even know this. I wasn't doing the research like I should have been doing. And so in 2007, I was like, yo, let me get started up again. And I'm glad I did.
And actually, your music sounds more like New York 90s hip hop, if we have to categorize it.
I'm okay with that. That's what I grew up on. You know, that's the era I grew up in. That's the music I grew up on. I'm okay with saying that, you know, I represent Detroit, but my music doesn't sound like it's from Detroit. It sounds like it's from the East Coast.
Exactly.
It always has. It probably always will. That's my influence. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on that. So they say you are what you listen to.
But like nowadays, the most popular musical stream into hip hop is trap music. Like if we see like the XXL freshman classes and all that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Mumble rap, colored dreadlocks, tattoos on the face.
Yeah, I mean for me as the MC out of the two of us, you know, it doesn't faze me because I know music changes. I know music goes through different phases and changes and different generations of what it may or may not be. But my only issue is when there's a lack of balance. You know, when there's no balance, that's when it's an issue.
Yeah.
The fact that there's what quote unquote mumble rap, you know, we not into it. But these little 15-year-olds, I got a 16-year-old brother. He's into what I do, but he's also into some of that. You know, he put me on to a lot of these guys. A lot of guys that are young, I never heard of. He'll hit me, yo, you ever heard of Lil Uzi? Yo, you ever heard of Ugly God? And then I'll go look them up. And I may like this one or not like that or whatever. But he keep me abreast to it all. But at the same time, my job is to keep him abreast of what this is and other new artists coming up doing what we do. And for me, it's about balance. You know, these young kids are going to be into that because that's what they're creating and that's what's being created around them and for them. And content-wise, you know, as far as what it means, what it stands for, as far as the quality and everything, we may not agree with the level that it's at. We may feel like what we grew up on or what we like or what we make is here and some of the other stuff is down here. I get it. You know, I'm all for that. I get the disparity, but, you know, it's just about balance. If there's what we're doing and then a little bit of that too, whether it's the radio, TV, popular culture, tours, all right, cool, you know, but when there's a lack of balance, that's when it's an issue. And I think that's what people are upset about when they look at magazine covers or they turn on the radio or they open a magazine. There isn't any balance. Yeah. But if there's balance, then everything is all right, you know?
What we do know, though, our fan base isn't going anywhere.
Absolutely.
Unless we change,
right?
Our fan base isn't going anywhere.
Right.
You know
the beauty of it all is I feel like it's equity, right? Like when you have some type of equity or some type of stock, it's almost like real estate. I feel like I can put a record out tomorrow and I can tweet on Instagram or Facebook and say, yo, new album comes out midnight. I know a certain amount of people that'll buy it. You know, I'm not saying I'm Beyonce or something like that, but I know the people that'll buy it because they have faith in me. They don't have to hear a word. They have faith that Skyzoo on the record. I know the pen is crazy. I know the lyricism is crazy. I know conceptually it's crazy, and I know he's picking the right beats. I just can't wait to hear it. When you can build that type of equity in that real estate, you're golden. You know, you'll always have a core. You'll always have, you know, financially they'll always be there to support because they believe in you. The moment you give them a reason to not believe, that's when you got to worry. But they believe in me. They believe in Apollo. Apollo could drop tomorrow, 6-song, instrumental, something. They're going to go get it without hearing one snippet because they believe in him. He built that equity. And it's the same thing with me with the pen.
It's all about consistency and quality, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're consistent, people don't need to hear the music.
There's
they know what
no
it
reason
is.
to question
They know
it.
what to expect.
There's no reason to question it, you know?
We were talking about like New York boom bap oriented sounds, and there is a major artist that dropped a big album this summer. It's Jay-Z, of course, with the
Right.
444, and he decided to go back to some
A lot of samples
boom bap
and things.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
sounds.
I got you.
Did you listen to it? And
It was you know, that just doing that was a good look for us.
Yeah.
It was a good look
One
for producers
producer,
like
yeah.
me, who are sample based producers, and one. I mean, No ID is one of my favorites ever. He's amazing. But it was just a good look for, you know, taking it back to that, and then now, you know, a lot of people emulate and do what, and they follow what Jay-Z does.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the way of hip hop. So it kind of makes people start checking out for, you know, producers like that now again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, and I think lyrically, from you know, the standpoint of the pen, I love what he did because he's 47, 48, if I'm not mistaken. He made an album that sounds like that, and for those types of people,
Yeah,
not in
yeah.
a negative way.
Yeah.
He made an album that a 47-year-old
major, yeah.
supposed to make. The things he's talking about, family, where he said, my wife's in the kitchen fixing the kids liquid gold. We in a whole different zone. Liquid gold is Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's like supermarket $3 box macaroni and cheese with the little kitty shapes. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about something wild or $100,000 chain. He said, my wife's in the kitchen fixing the kids liquid gold, like fixing the kids Kraft macaroni and cheese out the supermarket, because that's what little kids like. Like, he made a grown-up album. He didn't say, I need a record for the club. He didn't say, I need a trap record with an 808.
Yeah.
Don't try to compete with these 20-something-year-olds that are young enough to be your kid. It ain't gonna work. And he didn't do that. He said, yo, I'm gonna stick to the script, talk about my life, talk about what's going on as an adult, throw some knowledge and some jewels out, and sonically it's gonna sound the way it sounds lyrically. And he did what he had to do, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was definitely good for hip hop. It was
Yeah,
good for
100%,
hip-hop.
100%.
Cool. Here in Switzerland, we have also some really good producers and beat makers.
Nice.
Did you hear about a guy who is called DJ Seb? He used to produce for Prodigy, rest in peace, Prodigy.
Okay, word.
A lot of artists from New York. Tony Yayo as well on his
Okay.
first album.
I need to hear
You've
something.
never,
I need to hear something.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely.
DJ
I don't
Seb.
know of it. Yeah.
I
I love
will,
listening to beats, obviously. So
Yeah.
you know,
And yeah, once even Just Blaze said that like one of his best records for, I don't remember which year, but was one which was produced by this guy, DJ Seb.
Seb as
I
in
will give you the links.
S-E-B?
yeah.
Yes, SEBB.
Okay.
Okay,
DJ
DJ
Seb.
Seb, salute. He comes from Lausanne, United
That's a
States.
major
Word up.
shout. That's a major shout. Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, and let's finally talk about your hometown cities.
Yeah.
So you come from New York, right?
Brooklyn, New
Yeah,
York.
Brooklyn, and
Yep.
you're from Detroit.
I hail out of Detroit. Yes, sir.
So if you had to collaborate with a Detroit artist and maybe a major artist, who would it be?
Royce the 5'9".
Royce,
You said
you've
a
never
Detroit
collaborated with?
I mean, we've done little bits and pieces here and there, like a verse or two on something, but for like a whole joint or even just a whole song, no, we've never done that. So I would love to get with Royce and do something.
What about Eminem or Big Sean?
I mean, come on, that kind of goes without saying. You know, if Eminem had called me up and was like, "Yo, I need you to," of course, and it's not a question.
Yeah.
That's not
you would do
that
it
goes
for
without
sure.
saying. You mean that's just anybody would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the bag.
And you, Skyzoo, if you had to collaborate with a rapper, and a New
Okay.
York rapper, some from the some of the major
For like one
ones.
song or
Yeah,
just
one song, just one song.
Hmm.
Do you like A$AP Mob or not?
Yeah, you know, 12E is my man.
Yeah.
You know, 12E's the
Except
homie.
12E, yeah.
That's the young homie. Shout to 12E.
Got that good cover.
Yeah.
That new cover is looking real nice.
Yeah, you know.
Real familiar.
Shout to 12E. You know, all the ASAP, you know, what they running around doing. Joey, of course, you know, and Kirk Knight and all those guys, CJ Fly and all Dave East. It's a nice little thing going on. You know who I really like, who people may be surprised to hear that I'm into from New York, is A Boogie with the Hoodie and Don Q. You know, they really, Don, you know, he's keeping the lyricism going, pushing the pen, of course. He get busy lyrically. Me being a lyricist and one of the top lyricists from New York, I noticed that, and I'll give the salute and the nod for sure, you know, for the youngins coming up. So definitely Don. And then A Boogie, you know, I really like A Boogie. You know, he's for the generation. He's like 20 or something like that.
And he was in the freshman
yeah,
class.
Yeah, he's for that generation, which is cool. But, you know, even with what he's doing for the trap generation, he ain't really mumbling, because when you listen to him, he is saying something. You know, it's not like you can't comprehend him. He is clear. There is clarity with how he's kicking the words, you know. And then, you know, I like what he's doing, catchy with the hooks and, you know, all that. I rock with A Boogie and Don and them guys. They dope.
Okay, cool. So guys, A Boogie with the Hoodie and Royce the 5'9". If you hear us, let's do some collaboration with Skyzoo and the Polo Brown.
It's all love.
Guys, thank you a lot. If you have a last word to say, it's right now to this camera,
Oh,
to your
man.
fans or
Well,
everything.
shout to Royal Arena and Royal TV, Royal Arena
Absolutely.
TV, of course, for holding us down. You know, you guys been rocking since '99, and we're just happy and proud to be a part of it. The whole Switzerland, man, everybody out here holding it down. Of course, the whole staff and crew here, Skyzoo, Apollo Brown, the
know
Easy
it.
Truth in stores right now.
In stores, go get it.
Yeah.
Royal Arena, Apollo Brown, Skyzoo, Geos. Thanks a lot.
Peace.
Yeah.